Anna stood by the window, clutching a cup of cold tea to her chest. Beyond the glass, February snow was slowly melting, coating the backyard trees in a murky crust of ice. In the nursery, faintly scented with milk and newborn cream, 6-month-old Mark slept quietly. Her son. Their son. A new life had begun 6 months ago. Before that, everything had been different. A cozy job, parties with friends, petty arguments with her husband, Victor. Now her world had shrunk to diapers, pacifiers, and endless anxiety. Victor was still around, but different. He'd buried himself in work, came home late, and more often than not sank silently into the armchair in front of the TV, as if trying to hide from the baby's cries, from Anna, from himself. At first, Anna thought she could handle it. That motherhood just needed to be accepted. But sleepless nights, constant feedings, aching limbs, and the noise inside her head took their toll. Sometimes it felt like she was watching the world through murky water. Even in her own home, everything felt foreign, especially the nursery. Anna had spent a long time choosing the decor. Neutral tones, wooden furniture, plush animals on the shelves. But from the very first days, something about it unsettled her. Not the atmosphere. No, something else. As if there was something, or someone, in the room besides her and Mark. Don't overthink it, she kept telling herself. It's just exhaustion. To help her get some rest, Victor insisted on buying a baby monitor with a camera. This way you'll feel safer, he said. You can take care of yourself while I'm at work. The device was modern. A black box with a camera and night vision mounted above the crib. On the screen, she could see the baby, and the speaker picked up even the faintest sounds. A whimper, a turn, a sigh. At first, Anna had been skeptical, but by the third night, she admitted it was convenient. Calming, at least a little. Until that night. It began on the 6th day. Anna was sleeping in fragments, jumping up at every little noise. That night, she woke up at 3:12, the numbers glowing red on the nightstand like a wound. Everything around her was pitch black. Victor had long since moved to the other room, complaining that he couldn't sleep with the baby crying. Anna picked up the baby monitor. The screen was dark, but she could hear something. She immediately tensed. Shh, little one. Hush now. You don't want mommy to wake up. A whisper. A man's voice, low, echoing like it was coming from inside a pipe. And yet, so close. Anna's chest turned cold. She pressed the monitor to her ear, holding her breath. Mommy mustn't know. She leapt up, nearly knocking over the lamp, and ran to the nursery. Mark was lying in the crib, eyes wide open. He wasn't crying. On the contrary, he was listening, intently. His eyes followed something near the wall just above eye level. His lips trembled, and then he nodded. Mark? Anna gasped, rushing to him. He immediately turned his head toward her and whimpered, like a normal baby, like her baby. Or was he? She pulled him into her arms, glancing around the room. No signs of break-in. Windows locked, camera in place. The baby monitor was turned off. Turned off. Her breathing caught. How? She had heard someone. Someone had been speaking. Someone had been in the room, or inside the device. Her head rang with alarm. She returned to the bedroom, clutching the monitor. Checked the settings. Recording. Off. History. Empty. Audio input. Only from the nursery. Everything was normal. Too normal. Must have been a dream, she told herself. But inside, something squirmed. A vile, sticky sensation, like cobwebs clinging to her face. The next day, Anna tried to tell Victor. He listened in silence, stared at her for a long time, then shrugged. You're just tired, he said. You told me you haven't been sleeping. Could be sleep paralysis. The brain fills in gaps. He nodded. Vic, my son. He was looking and nodding. Was that the first time he's nodded? Well then, be happy. He's developing. He hugged her, kissed her on the temple, and left, leaving behind the scent of cologne and a faint trace of disbelief. Anna was alone again, with the monitor, with Mark, and with a voice she hadn't imagined. Late that night, as the snow resumed its slow descent outside, she turned on the baby monitor and lay down on the living room couch. Sleep eluded her. Her heart pounded in her throat. Mark breathed softly through the speaker. 3:11. Silence. 3:12. Faint static. 3:13. A click. And then, Anna. She dropped the monitor. Anna picked it up from the floor as if it were something dirty and dangerous. Her hands trembled. Her heart thundered in her temples. She didn't dare turn the sound back on, just stared at the screen. Mark was asleep, as if nothing had happened. His face, peaceful. His chest rose and fell rhythmically. Everything looked normal. Too normal. Like a mask worn over something not normal. Anna slowly walked to the nursery. Each step felt heavy, sticky, like moving through a dream. The room smelled of the familiar mix of powder and milk. Everything was as it should be, but wasn't. "You're just a baby," she whispered, sitting beside the crib. "You're my boy. You can't hear that. You're not supposed to." Mark stirred slightly, sighed in his sleep, rolled onto his side as he often did. He was sleeping. He was a normal infant. She wanted to believe that, but the voice had been real. It had said her name, and it came at the same exact time. 3:12. Anna wrote it down in a notebook left over from her birthing classes. It used to contain tips, lists, recipes. Now, her first piece of evidence. The next day, she disconnected the monitor. Completely. Shut down the unit, removed the batteries. Made sure the camera in the nursery was off, then stashed the monitor in the dresser drawer. And yet, all day, the feeling lingered. Someone was watching. Following. She found herself turning around more often, listening closely to sounds in the walls, flickering shadows, clicks in the wiring, even the sound of water in the pipes. It all felt too deliberate. Paranoia, Victor would have said. But Victor didn't see Mark nod. Victor didn't hear the voice. He was growing more and more distant. Came home late. Ate dinner in silence. Whenever she mentioned anything strange, he just waved it off. "If you want, we can get you a therapist. Not cheap, but if it helps." Anna didn't reply, because she knew he didn't believe her. Not her. Not what was happening. On the second night after turning off the baby monitor, Anna woke up to silence. Absolute. Ominous. No familiar sighs, no baby whimpers, not even the faintest noise. She jolted upright and ran to the nursery. Mark was lying on his back, eyes open, arms at his sides. He wasn't moving, his face deathly pale. "Mark!" she cried, rushing to him. He blinked, once, then again, and then he smiled, calmly, confidently, too knowingly. Anna grabbed him, pressed him to her chest, checked his breath, his pulse. Everything was normal. But something was wrong. His gaze, that look. It wasn't a newborn's. He looked at her like an adult, or worse, like someone older. She didn't know how long she rocked him in the chair, whispering incoherent words while holding him close, until he finally drifted to sleep. And only then did she notice the scratches. On the wall, opposite the crib, thin, as if made with a fingernail, 3 vertical marks, right next to the outlet, 3:12 the next night. Anna didn't want to. She fought the urge. But she turned the monitor back on. You never know what's more dangerous. listening or not listening. She set the monitor on the nightstand, wrapped herself in a blanket, closed her eyes, but didn't sleep. 3:11. Static crackling. 3:12. The voice returned. This time, a woman's. "He listens to you. He's almost ready." Anna clenched her fists. Number. It's just her imagination. Exhaustion. Hallucinations. There's an explanation. There's always an explanation. But then, the voice changed. "Mama. Mark." He whispered the word, clearly, audibly, not like a babbling baby, but like an adult. A confident, knowing voice. Anna screamed, slammed her fist on the monitor. It went dark. Victor finally woke up. He walked into the room, yawning, annoyed. "What is it now?" he asked. Anna pointed at the monitor. He spoke. He said, "Mama." "You've lost it," Victor muttered. "Probably some interference, neighbor's baby monitor, or your phone was too close." It was Mark, Vic. I recognized his voice. "He's 3 weeks old." Anna didn't answer, because she knew. Arguing was pointless. No one would believe her. Only she had heard it. The next morning, she decided to check the camera. If only for herself. For the truth. She inserted the memory card into her laptop. The file was named REC_0312.mp4. It was 1 minute and 18 seconds long. The first few seconds, nothing. Mark lay quietly. Then, movement in the corner of the frame. The camera was slightly out of focus, but she could see it. A shadow. Tall, hunched, not moving, but there, in the corner, right at the edge of the crib. Mark opened his eyes, looked directly at it, and nodded. Slowly, just like he had the first time. Anna hit pause. The screen froze. A baby, and something next to him. She sat in complete silence. Only the faint ticking of the clock could be heard. 3:12 wasn't a coincidence. The monitor, not a toy. Mark, not just a child. Something had entered their home, or had always been there, and now it was speaking. Through Mark, through the device, through the whisper at 3:12. Anna couldn't get the video out of her head. She watched it over and over again, every time hoping that the shadow was just a camera glitch, a trick of the light. But no, it didn't change. It was there, clear, inky, unmoving, and aware. If you're enjoying this story, give it a like. It helps create more creepy tales. When Mark looked in its direction and nodded, the shadow seemed to tremble. It didn't move, but pulsed, as if breathing. On the fourth viewing, Anna noticed a hand. Thin, too long. It rested on the edge of the crib, as if something were leaning over her child. Since then, Anna couldn't leave Mark alone for even a minute. She stayed in the nursery during the day, slept beside him at night, barely ate or showered. Everything inside her was screaming. Something was near, and it wasn't going away. Victor started getting openly irritated. "You can't be with him all the time. You need rest. What are you making up, Anna?" "Watch the footage, Vic. Just watch it." Her voice had become hoarse, broken. He watched, silently, then pulled out the memory card, threw it into the trash, and said, "It's interference, or a fake. You're not well, Anna. I'll call your mother. She should come." She didn't argue. Not anymore. She was too exhausted. Night. 3:12. The baby monitor turned itself on again. Anna was certain she had cut the power, taken the batteries out. But the screen glowed in the darkness. Green, distorted, hissing. She won't listen. We need to be stronger. We need to show her. Anna rose slowly and walked to the nursery. The room was ice cold. Mark lay with eyes wide open, silent. He was staring again, at the same corner, and again, he nodded. Anna turned and saw her. In the corner near the changing table, Something was crouched. At first, she thought it was a woman, thin, long-haired, wearing something like a nightgown. But the face, there was no face, just smooth skin like porcelain. Anna screamed, instinctively, from deep inside. The figure shuddered, didn't turn, just slid along the wall and melted into the darkness like smoke. Mark screamed, loud, piercing. Anna grabbed him, fled into the hallway, holding him to her chest like it was the last time. Victor woke up and saw her, pale, wide-eyed, with a screaming child in her arms, and finally understood. This wasn't hysteria. This wasn't exhaustion. Something had happened. "What did you see?" he asked hoarsely. Anna couldn't speak. She just trembled and rocked her son. Victor walked silently to the monitor. It was off again, as if nothing had happened. Anna's mother arrived the next morning. "You look awful," she said. "And your house? It feels dark. Cold?" Anna said nothing, just handed her Mark and went to take a shower. The hot water burned, but wouldn't warm her. On the fogged-up mirror, someone had written a single word: soon, written with a finger, a thin one, too long. Anna collapsed to her knees on the cold tile. That night, her mother slept with Mark. Anna lay on the couch. She couldn't sleep. At 3:12, the power went out. Throughout the house. No click, no flicker. It just vanished, as if something had ripped the electricity out of the walls. Anna froze. Silence. Complete. Grave-like. And in that silence, a voice. "Now you see?" She felt breath against her ear, dry, cold, like dust. Nearby, in the dark, something moved. Claws scraped. Something was crawling. She couldn't move. Only listen. "Mark is ours." Anna woke up on the floor. The couch was nearby, but she lay curled on the cold hardwood, as if something had thrown her down. Her heart was pounding. Her chest ached, like after a long scream. The house was drenched in gray-black darkness. The power hadn't returned. Even the monitor was silent. She staggered to her feet. The floor creaked under each step, like it was resisting her. She reached the nursery door, pushed it open, and froze. Anna's mother sat in the chair, frozen, her eyes wide open and glassy. Beside her, the empty crib. Mark was gone. "Mom?" Anna gasped, rushing to her. The woman slowly turned her head, too slowly, wrongly. Her shoulders didn't move. Only the neck twisted like a mannequin's. "You knew," her mother rasped. "He is almost ready. Don't stop him from leaving." Anna backed away, staring in horror at the unnaturally elongated face, like the muscles beneath the skin didn't belong to a human at all. "Where is he?" she screamed. "Where's my son?" Her mother stood up. She moved like a broken puppet, joints jerking at odd angles. And then, she smiled. "He's with him." Panic, blankness. Anna tore through the house, flinging open doors, checking closets. Empty. Bathroom, empty. Bedroom, empty. Scratches on the walls. More than before, like someone had tried to claw their way out from inside. From the disabled baby monitor, a whisper crackled. Almost ready." She ran to the dresser, pulled out the monitor. The screen was black, but for a split second, an image flickered. The camera wasn't showing the nursery, not the walls, not the crib. A hallway, long like a tunnel stretching into blackness. At the far end, a tiny figure, standing with its back turned. Mark. Anna screamed. She lunged for the door and found herself in a different room. But this wasn't their apartment. The wallpaper was peeling. The floor was stone, cold like a basement. The air, stale like a coffin. Outside the windows, a black wall. No street, no sky. Anna ran, no idea where or how. Corridors led into other spaces, abandoned hallways, rooms with no exit, mirrors with no reflection. And again, the whisper. You didn't want to listen. Now you hear everything. She saw him, the one who came at night. He stood in the corner, now fully visible. Tall, thin, like a human silhouette carved from darkness, where a face should be. A blank mask. From his chest hung gray, ragged shreds, as if the skin was just an outer shell. In his arms. Mark. The baby didn't cry. He looked at his mother and smiled. He's almost ready. Only one night left. The creature stepped back into the wall, dissolving with the child. Anna awoke in bed. It was day, sunny, quiet. Victor sat beside her, holding her hand. A nurse stood nearby. You've been asleep for almost a day, he said. They found you in the kitchen, alone. It's okay now. Mark's here. Your mother left. Anna stood, staggering slightly. She walked to the nursery. Mark was asleep in the crib. His chest rose and fell, smooth, steady, too steady. She looked into his eyes. He opened them, and again, nodded. Later that night, she heard it again. 3:12. Tonight is the last night. Anna didn't sleep, didn't blink, didn't breathe. It felt like even her breath might shatter the delicate balance between what had been and what her life was turning into. 3:11. The baby monitor turned itself on. Even though it had been disconnected, batteries removed, the screen lit up. Black and white image. Mark lay there, eyes open, smiling, and a hand behind his head, too long, covered in something gray like mold. Anna froze, clutching the monitor. 3:12. He is ready. The screen went black. She jumped up and ran to the nursery. It was silent. Too silent, suffocating. Mark lay in the crib, eyes open, staring at the ceiling, unblinking. Anna slowly approached, reached out, touched his forehead. Ice. Not just cold, the chill of a grave. He didn't react. Mark, baby, she whispered. The child slowly turned his head, smiled. Mama. But the voice wasn't his. It was a man's voice. Low, the same one from the midnight whispers. No, Anna whispered, stepping back. No, you're not him. He is me now. He let me in. He listened. He trusted. You did the rest. Mark sat up. By himself, effortless. Like an adult, like a doll. Give him back, please. I'll do anything. You already did. You opened the door. Through fear, through attention, through faith. Now, he's mine. But you can choose. Anna fell to her knees. Anything. You can leave, and he'll remain mine. Or you can stay forever, in his place. I choose, Mother. All the baby toys in the house began to ring at once. The mobile above the crib started to spin, though it hadn't been wound. The ceiling carousel began to cry, soft plush animals letting out thin, mournful whimpers. Anna covered her ears, but the voice was inside her head. You know what's right. You're already in hell. Just take the step. Anna looked into the eyes of what had once been Mark, and for just a moment, she saw him, her son, deep inside, behind the layer of darkness. He was crying, silently. He was calling to her, and then Anna understood. He was still in there. She stepped closer, kneeled before him, held out her arms. I'll stay, she whispered. Let him go. The darkness froze. The gloom in the child's eyes flickered. And then, a scream. Deafening. Black smoke burst from Mark's chest, slammed into the wall, and twisted into a vortex. From the baby monitor's speaker came, No, you have no right. You can't. But it was already too late. Anna stood and stepped into the shadow, into the swirling black funnel. The light went out. The walls shook. And then, silence. Morning. Victor woke to the sound of Mark crying. He got up groggily, peeked into the nursery. Mark lay in the crib, alive, warm, looking up at him, smiling, like a normal baby. "Anna?" he called. Silence. He searched every room. Anna was gone. 2 days later, she was declared missing. No trace, no fingerprints, no evidence. It was as if she'd simply vanished. Only once, while fiddling with the baby monitor, Victor heard a whisper through the static. "I'm with him. I'm watching. He's safe." And then, a lullaby. Old, strange. One that no one in the house had ever sung. If this story made your heart race, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button to support new chilling tales, and tap the bell. That way, you won't miss the next dose of horror. In the comments, let us know how much you enjoyed the story and which themes scare you the most. Who knows? Maybe your idea will become the next nightmare.